isn't it? So, caption of this video will be, I'm on drugs. The reason for that is not because I am in fact on drugs, it's because to all my internet guru friends, you'll understand what clickbait is. You'll understand marketing and how to get attention. Probably the very reason you're watching this video. I'm on drugs. Got your attention. Still got it. But no, it's not to get your attention for marketing purposes, and also not to inform you that I am on drugs. Yes, it is to get your attention, to share with you what I believe is the most important message you will hear this year. So you may know, my name is Dan Fitz, the street preacher, creator of the DEFP, says it right there. So, the Daily Freedom Path, men in the Western world. Freedom is obsolete if you don't have it. Therefore, I cannot coach men. I don't have a job. Now, I could have stuck my head in the sand. I could have pretended it's all sunshine and rainbows like some of you pussies, because I lost my advertising accounts. You say half the shit I say, you get shut down. And most of you know that. That's why you don't say anything. So, I'm not talking about your 30-day ban from social media kind of shit. People who do what I do, we rely on advertising just like McDonald's, just like BMW, just like any other gym. We rely on advertising to run our businesses. Now, I made a decision a long time ago, you may know about it, where I was willing to sacrifice being able to advertise on Facebook or Communist Book. I was willing to turn away half my market. My market is weak men. I help them become strong. Weak men don't want to hear about medical tyranny. Weak men aren't ready to deal with real problems and situations, i.e. mandates, government laws, censorship, medical tyranny. I mean, what you're probably dealing with right now. But I refuse to talk about it for some reason. I drew a line in the sand and I say, I'm not accepting this shit, I'm not putting up with it, and I'm going to do something about it. The same way when I walked into the fucking prison system, having been to prison myself, I cannot go into prison, not even to visit someone. It's the law. But by being so good at what I do, by being so passionate about what I do, by being the only person who could help these men with those issues, including indigenous men, the government and the police allowed me to go into prison. And you may also know that along that journey, along that process, the media and the police teamed up, tried to ruin my reputation, and tried to eliminate me from the work and the program that I created by law in the prison system to help young men become strong. I wasn't doing it to say, oh, you're a good person. I wasn't doing it for the money. In fact, I got paid a lot less. A lot of it was volunteering. And I mean, I don't know if you've gone into prison before, or you've gone into prison without security, without a plan, and just spread the good word, the truth, which is probably why I got shut down. It's these same people that tried to ruin my reputation, these same people that tried to silence me, not just on this, but on many things, for some reason or another, and I don't believe it's because I'm beautiful. They decided to run my pretty face and the same story again online. Now, last year, well, what do you think it was? Do you think it was the 2020 election that I brought up? Do you think it was, I think it's draconian and human rights violation that they told people who could work, where you could go. You have to hug grandma behind a plastic screen while she dies, so you don't hug her and she dies. I mean, the insanity led us to where we are now, Howard Springs quarantine camp. Now, you may not know, you may not care, and you may not in fact do anything even when I tell you, because most men are fucking useless. But there are women and children and men who are Australians, who are Indigenous. Where are you Black Lives Matter people all of a sudden? Where are you? You're going to change your profile picture to a black square? Look at how hard I've worked. Look at everything I've sacrificed. Look, if you know anything about me, you know what I believe and you know what I stand for. And maybe, just maybe, I've gotten 50, 100 men over that line, where it's fight or die, where it's this is what's right for me and my family and my community, and if you don't like that, suck dick. Because without those kind of men in your family, in your community, in your environment, you find yourself scanning QR codes, wearing 2 masks, taking your 3rd booster, which you didn't even want to take the 3rd one, the 1st one, and the 3rd one's not working, the 4th one's not working. Unpopular man. 4th one's not working. What are you gonna do? What the fuck are you gonna do? I mean, mind you, going back to those Howard Springs quarantine camp, why isn't this in the news? Why isn't it in the news that they're rounding out people who haven't taken the jab, who could have the Omicron variant, and they're taking them to quarantine camps for their safety? Now, you don't care because they're Indigenous people. You don't care because they're Indigenous people. You don't care because it's not you. And you don't care because someone else is going to fucking fix it. You may have heard of QAnon people, the Trump conspiracy theory people. And I admit it, I'll join you on this. These people are fucking nuts. These people are dumb as dog shit. But they're no less intelligent than the people that believe the Australian government is doing this for our safety, is doing this for us, is dragging off Indigenous to keep them safe. I mean, the same people that stole their land some 200 years ago are now dragging them off to basically prison because they care. I don't know about you, I'm starting to see some holes in that story. So where does this leave us? So these Q conspiracies, these Trump believers think Trump's going to come save us from our own government. Trump signed off on the vaccines being used for emergency use. He basically fucked the whole world. And no one left or right no one in the government is coming to save us. Because these same documents that I shared with you guys about the Western Australian government saying they're going to use the military to distribute the vaccine, it's on danfitz.com, our own government documents, not a conspiracy theory, and it wasn't that they're coming to save us, they are going to use military force to administer the vaccines. Now, they have enough doses, they have 14 doses for each person in Australia. That's 2 a year for 7 years. That's their plan. And if they're already putting people in camps, where does that put you next year when you don't want to take the third one, the fourth one? Maybe you've actually got some balls and dignity. You didn't take the first one. If they don't make the Trump supporters the enemy, it's going to be the indigenous that are anti-vaxxers. If they don't make the indigenous the enemy, it's going to be extreme right-wingers. If it's not extreme right-wingers, it's going to be white supremacists and so on and so forth. Just like that old poem says, first they came to the librarians, then they came to the accountants, then they came to something or other, and there was no one left to save me because I was too much of a bitch. I said nothing and I did nothing. Going back to me saying this every fucking day for 500 days, you need to do something. But I also know, having said this every day for 500 days, if you are like most men, you're a fucking bitch and you do nothing. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked, so where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? Why am I telling you this? Why am I coming back to Facebook? Because I said, oh, I'm not going to post on Facebook anymore. It's evil, metaverse and all that shit. Because it is. It's because I care. You know, hard to believe based on the way I look and what you think of me. It's because I care. This isn't a call to action to join my program. It's not a call to action to donate to my Vimeo. It's not a, hey, can you buy some t-shirts that say fuck Dan Andrews on my website? Although that's more an investment. It is a call to action to any young man, Indigenous, white, Asian, any nationality, any skin color in Australia. I'm asking you to be a man. Because you know, as well as I know, the conspiracy theories, the misinformation, the psychological warfare, it's all fucking bullshit. And they're targeting Indigenous Australians, they're targeting the most vulnerable until they eventually get to you. So before they get to you, instead of waiting for the enemy to come to you, instead of waiting for the enemy to shut down the power grid, to disrupt the supply chain, the food, to make your wife double cross you and betray you, bring a bioweapon into your house, too late for some of you. In fact, some of you men were so weak you did it yourself. That upsets you good. If I've ever done anything for you, if I've ever empowered you, it's time for you to empower yourself. When these health officials, these corrupt leaders, when these people come for you, when these people ask you to present your private information, when these people ask you to scan a QR code, or more fucking importantly, if you like the, I'd say unfortunate, but it's a fucking understatement, if you are like the Indigenous Australians and no one is coming to help you, It's time for you to help yourself. Because these people mean business because it is a business. Prison system is privatized. The privatized system is designed to make money. Big Pharma is a for-profit organization. Pfizer themselves, the highest criminal fee ever paid by a corporation was Pfizer. These people don't just show up in the community with some magic thing because they fucking care. It's a business. Vaccines sold, vaccines administered. Their fucking body count is irrelevant. And you maybe think, oh, Trump's coming, or oh, they'll save us in the courts. There's no liability. There is not a single fucking bit of liability on these shots. So here's you destroying your business, destroying your job, destroying the environment. And the people doing this to you are profiting, making money, and they have no liability, whatever happens to you, good, bad, or otherwise. This last little bit is dedicated to any man, young man, old man that's had enough and is ready to do something. There's a reason they stopped me from saying what I'm saying to you now. There's a reason they tried to ruin my reputation. When I went to prison, I thought I was tough. I thought nothing could affect me. I thought I knew everything. I thought I'd stand up for myself. I was waiting in line for the phone. Use the phone there. There's a big line. I'm in no rush to call anyone. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And this guy cuts in the line. And I think, I'll go after him. I'll just wear a mask. It's just a nighttime curfew. It's just one jab. It's 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And this guy, who I don't even know, who had no reason to do it, he comes up and he fucking grabs me. And he pushes the other guy out of the way and he puts the phone back in my hand and he said, "Don't let that happen again. Otherwise it'll keep happening." The reason why you can't see what I see is because you're looking at these people as politicians, as medical experts, as scientists. This is organized crime at the highest level. Organized crime at the highest level. And not only have you showed these people they can take the phone off you whenever they like. Look at everything else we've shown them globally, from taking our jobs, to our travel rights, to who we can come in contact with. We let it happen. I don't know about you. I ain't giving up a single fucking thing for these motherfuckers anymore. And neither should you. No one's coming to save us, but the good thing is, we're the ones that can save us. We're the ones that have the power. And while there's more of us, while we do have the freedom, while we do have the opportunity to communicate, let's take it back. That's it. It's not hard. Oh, it's against the law. The government broke their own law, so I could come in and fix the mess that they created. Don't you think poisoning your kids is breaking the law? Don't you think stopping you from going to work is breaking the law? Don't you think this segregation, this discrimination, this destroying of families should be against the law? You know what to do. It's time to step up and be a fucking man and do it. I mean, the military is imprisoning Indigenous Australians. Imagine someone is on their knees, gun to their head, crying, I don't want to be taken away, I don't want to take the shot. Would you laugh at that person and say, oh, you must be anti-bullets? Some of you probably. It's time to stand up and be men. Otherwise the meek are going to inherit the earth. And guess what they have planned for you? Nothing good, my friend.